8 years have passed since the eruption of the war in Yemen, and all parties are continuing to mobilize and recruit children and involve them in military operations, where an entire generation of Yemeni children faces the danger of death, amid the sound of artillery, and the repeated killing, the rubble of destruction, and in front of the barrels of guns that did not spare anyone. There is a lost childhood that does not know events of joy. No one can ignore these poignant scenes of children recruited on the lines of combat, and other prisoners who find nothing but tears as a means to express the tragedy of thousands of children who have been exploited and thrown into the armed conflict, and had the largest share of the brutality of war. This was the case with the 16-year-old child, one of the victims of recruitment while he was on the battlefield.
Abu Harb used to take us to the front, continued training, and when we completed the training, he would take us to the cultural session. He would take us to the front and leave us there in trenches and return on the second day. They took us to Ib city, and we were there in the midst of the fighting. And mortar shells hit us. One was wounded and one of my companions was killed. May Allah have mercy on him.
When the Houthi group failed to attract popular support, this prompted them to take children and force them to join the fronts. But this was done through a malicious trick, under the pretext of teaching and knowledge. Young children, their childhood is exploited. In the name of religion, they carry weapons, and are driven to unknown places under the pretext of teaching religion and Sharia, and they are surprised that they are going to learn the ways of a quick death. Abdullah Assam from Amran, 17 years, is one of the child soldiers who managed to escape in some way after being lured to the front lines, where he had the largest share of this tragedy.
They used to teach us in our village, in a Quran session, and the booklets of Hussein al-Houthi. One day they said, "We want to take the adults to study in the city," and they took us to a place there among the mountains. We asked Abu Nasser, "Where are we supposed to study?" He said, "Study here. You are in jihad, resisting the enemy." They trained us for 1 week in rifles, ammunition, and machine guns. We stayed there for about 2 months. My family was looking for me. They didn't know that I'm at the front.
The figures collected by our monitors in the field, which included 19 Yemeni governorates, indicate that 5,467 child soldiers who were recruited by the Houthi group during the period from 2014 to 2022, and 93 soldiers recruited by the internationally recognized government during the period from 2015 to 2022, and 29 child soldiers who were recruited by military units that are not under the control of the legitimate government during the period from 2015 to 2022. Forced recruitment is the solution that the Houthi group takes in case the children's parents refuse to recruit their children, where many get injured and some of them are killed. Their families are living the nightmare of not knowing their whereabouts, who were betrayed and deceived by the group of backwardness, killing, and destruction.
They used to come looking for us at the houses in the village, and if they found someone, they would take him like my friend. They took him, and he has not returned yet.
Many temptations resonate in the minds of children whose age barely allows them to distinguish between right and wrong. They are forced to drop out of school and wear the uniform of conscription at an age that is considered a safety gateway to their dreams, aspirations, and games that share with them the innocent laughter that is stolen from them by the battlefronts, the weapons and the blood that they see every day in front of them.
Of course, they lured us to give us salaries and teach us. We said we've nothing to do, let's go with them.
They said that we would go for 2 weeks in a cultural session in Sana'a and return us to our homes. Then they took us to weapons training places, and then they took us to the front. We were 5, 1 was wounded, and 1 was martyred. Then they took us to the hospital in Sana'a, and they injected us with injections, and told our families that they would leave us in the hospital, and then we would return us.
At the international level, the United Nations has adopted several agreements and instruments guaranteeing the protection of children during armed conflict. namely the Convention on the Rights of the Child of 1989, the optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict in May 2000, the 4 Geneva Conventions, the 2 additional protocols to the Geneva Conventions of 1977, the Paris Principles of 2007. But these international laws do not protect many children, especially in areas controlled by the Houthi group, where there is no role for child protection organizations and human rights organizations responsible for fully defending their rights and protecting them from any psychological trauma and arbitrary violations of their innocent childhood during their recruitment and involvement in combat operations.
My colleague was dying beside me. I wonder what to do.
We are today amid rehabilitating children. We are repairing the wounds caused by the war in terms of psychological aspects, what is called the anxiety factor and the fear factor, phobias, depression, the conversion disorders. These are all psychological aspects. The physical effects are disability, blindness, and loss of limbs. The individual effects that deprive the child of the education process deprive the child of what is called caring for himself, caring for his profession, and pushed him into the space of what is called the war space and the gun space.
When we tried to communicate with the parties to the conflict, especially the officials of the Houthi group, they did not respond to our calls. As for the internationally recognized government, Mr. Nabil Majid, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Human Rights, responded to our inquiries, saying,
"A roadmap was developed for field visits to ensure that military sites are free of child recruitment operations or the presence of former children. This work led to a complete plan with UNICEF, and the field visits to all the liberated governorates, as it included the area from Al-Mara to the western coast. Through the field visit, it was confirmed that the military and security camps and units are free of any operations to recruit children."
Despite the terror and the details of fear experienced by the child soldiers, which mean nothing to the parties to the conflict, the window of hope still exists, whether for those who managed to flee and escape from death or for those who were able to go to the safe lands that were cleared to receive them with a passionate heart and a wide heart that yearns to hug them. Rehabilitation centers in the liberated areas restore to them a smile of stability and safety, even part of what they lost from their lost childhood away from carrying arms and bloodshed.